Hey, hey, happy Thursday. Happy Throwback Thursday. Happy Thirsty Thursday. It is May 21st, 2020. And I am Coach Bear, Coach Glenn the Bear, coming to you from Casa 1500 in Metairie, Louisiana. Baby, you heard me? Today is Season 3, Episode 12 of Road to Happy Destiny, RTHD. All right, man, I hope you're excited. I hope you're off to a great start today. I know I am. It was a beautiful walk this morning. I'm excited about the show, and I'm going to get this party started. Let's kick it off with the long version of the Serenity Prayer that I shall read at this time. Here we go. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, one moment at a time, or enjoying one moment at a time. Accepting hardship as a pathway to peace, taking as Jesus did this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it. Trusting that you will make all things right if I surrender to your will, so that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with you forever in the next. Amen. You know, that Serenity Prayer has a lot of interesting information throughout the course of the prayer that I want to spend a day touching on and not turning that into a religious thing, but just kind of breaking it down a little bit because I think it could be used in everyday life. And that's why I really have enjoyed going back to where we started by using this prayer at the beginning of the show. So, with that being said, let's jump into our thoughts for today, coming from my cousin Jeb in Lafayette, Louisiana. Here we go. I know we've got two thoughts for today. Here is thought number one. When it's obvious that the goals cannot be reached, don't adjust the goals, adjust the action steps. I like that, right? Hitting an obstacle and trying to figure that obstacle out so that progress can begin or continue, right? So I like that thought. And, for a person like myself, over the last few years that have had a few bumps in the road, it's an important thought for me to kind of keep in my mind, keep fresh inside of me, because, we have two choices, right? When we get to that bump in the road, we can stop trying to make progress and just live how we're living, or we can make some changes, adjust, adapt, overcome, and continue towards progress. So, good thought there. Thought number two for today. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. All right. So that is something that takes work. For me, it definitely takes work, right? To entertain a thought, and I might not necessarily accept it. Maybe right away. Maybe it takes some time. Maybe I never accept it. But for me to have the time to process it and really think about all sides. I love the time we did the Into Action on RTHD when we had one of our columns as What's My Role, right? So, how can I take a look at this thought from somewhere else and I don't necessarily accept it, but why don't I accept it? Why am I so quick to dismiss this? So I like these thoughts for today from Cousin Jeb, Aunt/Cousin Joy, commented on them, and I'm going to add that at the end of the show. So right now, I'm going to go into our 24 hours a day book and pull out a quick reflection and a quick meditation for us for today's episode. Really, number 52 overall, 52 straight days of RTHD, Road to Happy Destiny with Coach Bear. That's the CB at the end of the title. All right, here is our reflection. When I remember my gratitude list, it is very hard to conclude that I am being picked on. So let me tell you why I like that. If I make my gratitude list, and I do this every day, which is why I have it first in Into Action every day, and I look at the things that I have to be grateful for, then, all in all, I'm pretty blessed. And sometimes, me personally, I tended to not really look at what I should be grateful for, look at how things aren't going well for me, or I am not where I expected to be or want to be. And so making that gratitude list has helped me so much to focus on the now, on today, on this particular 24 hours. And so by making the gratitude list each and every day, even if it's just one item on my gratitude list, it's hard for me to realize that let's use God or a higher power or a supreme being, that entity is picking on me, right? Because I have a lot when I break down all the things that I could possibly be grateful for and all the things that I should be grateful for, and in reality, all the things deep down I am grateful for. So there's our reflection. Let's jump into the meditation for today. Sharing is a wonderful thing, and by sharing, that can mean sharing thoughts and ideas, or where you are with another human being or with a group of human beings, or sharing as in, hey, here's something I have I want to share with you in a material or physical sense, right? So sharing is a wonderful thing because the more you share, the more you have. You might have heard the phrase, the more I give, the more I get back in return. Especially when you're talking about not material things, but of yourself, right? The more I give of myself, the more I'll get back somewhere down the road. Maybe not from that person or the people I'm giving to, but maybe from somewhere else. And I truly believe that. I really do. That's me personally, my opinion. And if you share that opinion, that's great. It's a nice freeing way to feel. And the bottom line is, I really have been working over these past few months, and over these 52 episodes of RTHD, trying to share at least of myself to others in hopes that it will help me by getting it out, and it will help at least one other person out there. And the more it helps, the better I get back, right? So I like that. I like our thoughts. I like our reflection. I like our meditation for today. And right now, it is that time. We riding? Well, I'm with you, homie. Well, let's dive into action for today, May 21st, 2020, this fine Thursday afternoon. Grab your handy-dandy Into Action notebook, open up to a brand spanking new page, grab your writing utensil, and let's put down our 3 columns for today that we want to be into action with, that I want to be into action with. Column number 1 is gratitude. Just talked about a gratitude list a few moments ago. So what are you grateful for today, whether that's one thing or multiple things? Number 2, character defects. Character defects. What are some of the character defects that I possess that I want to work on, or I want to be more cognizant of, and so I can begin to work on that? So what are some character defects that you may have that maybe you can put down at least one that you can try and work on today? But identifying this is a great start, right? So that's why I thought about that. But I like to be positive. So now I want column 3 to be character strengths. What are your strengths of character? One, multiple, that you want to remind yourself of today and utilize today as your gift to another person or other human beings, right? Or in some way, shape, or form that you see fit. Okay? So those are our categories for today. Why don't you go ahead and start jotting down your thoughts and ideas for gratitude, character defects, character strengths, and I'll share mine with you that I have jotted down for today. Gratitude, what am I grateful for today? Well, I'm grateful for this. Yesterday, I got a phone call from a friend, and that friend calls me every now and then and likes to check up on me and see how I am doing. And so we started our conversation off in a typical way. Hey, how you doing? I'm doing great. He said, stop. I don't want to hear that. That's the Coach Glenn the Bear typical, stereotypical answer that you give. How are you doing? I said, no, I'm serious. I'm really doing well. I said, this show that I've been doing over the last 52 days, well, yesterday it was 51, has really helped me. You know, this road to happy destiny, this spiritual journey, the series RTHD has really helped me. So I said, I am doing well. He said, well, good. I'm glad to hear that. He said, hey, I might have a position for you available with our company. That's either this position or that position. Would you be interested? And of course I said, absolutely yes. And so I'm very grateful that he thought of me and that he gave me that phone call. You know, I'm waiting to hear more about it, and I'm not anxious or anything because he said it might be a couple of days before I can get back to you. But it was just nice to get the phone call, so I was grateful for that phone call, and I am was in gratitude yesterday for it, and that continues into today. It kind of puts a little bounce in my step, you know, hearing about that and you know, filling out a few applications last week and this week, and talking with a few high school football coaches about potential positions. It's put a bounce in my step. So I'm grateful for all those things. But really that phone call yesterday, and I'm grateful that that guy continues to check up on me once or twice a week, which I do appreciate and don't take as an annoyance, but as something I'm grateful that I have someone like that cares enough about me to continue to check up on me. All right. Column 2, character defects. Let me see where I'm going with this. Yes. I've mentioned this before. I have got to continue to work on my communication skills. You know, when things come up that bother me, I still have a tendency to hold them in and not discuss them openly because, you know, I'm not a big confrontation guy. I really don't like confrontation, you know. I don't like unpleasantries when things are going to be unpleasant in a conversation. And so my communication skills need to improve because that's just not reality, right? You know, there are going to be situations where disagreements occur, for lack of better terms. And holding them in is not going to help me personally. And it's certainly not going to help the situation because eventually it's going to come out, right? And when it comes out like that, it's probably going to be in a different tone than it could be when it first starts. And for me, communication skills, and I also have the problem in communication that, as you might know this just from this show, sometimes as I get excited, my voice level increases. That's the teacher, that's the coach in me. And so some people mistake that for being yelled at or me raising my voice when that's not the intention behind what I'm saying. It's a natural thing inside me that I need to be more aware of. And so communication skills in two ways are character defects for me that I need to continue to improve upon. Okay? So first, getting things out as they occur. And secondly, my tone in my conversation. 3, character strengths. Where am I going to go with this? Well, I have been trying to practice RTHD. What does that mean? I have been trying to practice the things that we discuss here on this series, this program, Road to Happy Destiny with Coach Bear. And I'm trying to put these things into practice and they are actually becoming strengths for me. They actually really and truly are. And, you know, when I went to Jesuit high school, there was 4 letters that were sort of a motto for the school. AMDG, which is from the Latin words ad majorem Dei gloriam, which translated to English means for the greater glory of God. So as a motto at Jesuit, as students, we were taught to try and do things for the greater glory of God. I'm not turning this into a religious program. I'm just saying, I've been trying to do things RTHD. Things that will get me to the road to happy destiny and stay on that road and continue that road. So that is becoming character strengths for me. Just an example. Months ago, a couple years ago, my dad mentioned to my mom that, you know, Glenn, sometimes when we have conversations, is really short with me and really gets upset quickly. And this morning we were having a conversation while we were walking, and something came up, and it was a situation where I normally would have gotten short with my father in the conversation. And I stopped, I gathered myself, and thought about how I should continue this conversation in a healthy manner. And I was able to do it. And honestly, a few years ago, that would be a miracle in itself. So I am trying to make RTHD a character strength for me. Like I say almost every day, it's a work in progress. I have to work every single day. I have to practice every single day. Okay? So, I hope your list came out well for you today. Go ahead and put those things into action. Please don't forget to jot down something that sticks out for you in today's show as a reflection. And let's jump in now to advice for me. All right, here we go. So these 2 items that I'm going to share with you come from my cousin, Aunt Joy, aka Pie, her reflections on today's thoughts for the day, because she is on the email thread when my cousin Jeb and my cousin Scott send me things. So I like what she had to say on some of our thoughts for today, and here we go. I'm going to take them as advice for me, and if it works for you, Jimmy cracked corn, and I am jacked up for you as well. Here we go. First thing. True wisdom is the realization that I know nothing. Way I take that, the advice for me on that is that I can always learn. I can always learn. I know this. When I walk with my dad for an hour every morning, except Sundays, he and I have been having a lot to talk about, right? And a lot of times he'll tell me some things or say some things to me that I did not know. So, you know, I'm learning new things every day, as that is a great thing to happen. Learning new things every day. You know, we're all curious by nature. I have these 2 small kittens. Talk about curious. Oh, curious as can be. So, you know, when I want to have true wisdom, I need to realize that I don't know everything. I certainly don't know nothing. That's, I don't think, the spirit of what that means. But I can certainly improve on the amount that I can learn. Advice for me, number 2, from Joy, aka Pie. Entertaining a thought without accepting it or without rejecting it immediately, when I don't do those things right off the bat, it opens the space of learning. Thus, I can remain curious. I like that. So entertaining a thought without accepting or rejecting it immediately opens the space of learning. Thus, remaining curious. Or thus I remain curious. So that was kind of a reflection on one of our thoughts for today. And, you know, I expanded on that a few moments ago, but I like what Joy has to say about that. And I hope those two pieces of advice work for you. I know they work for me, and I appreciate that. Let's go into our final thought for today. I like this because it's about character, and we talked about character defects and character strengths in Into Action today. Character is developed by the daily discipline of duties done, by things that we do throughout the course of a day. All right, so character is developed in this way. Spoke briefly yesterday about how when we start achieving goals right after we wake up in the morning and achieve goals throughout the day, even though they might be minor or small, you know, we feel more accomplished at the end of the day. Well, that's one great way to continue to build our character and developing our character by taking care of things throughout the course of a day, by developing a work ethic, if you will, to get things done. All right, that's about it. That's about all the time we have for today. I'm sorry I went a little long, as I have been doing. Hey, as a reminder to me and to you, be joyful in hope, be patient in affliction, be faithful in prayer. Go out and be happy, joyous, and free. Be in gratitude. Be into action. Have a great Thursday. Love you all. Peace. Uh-oh, didn't work.